Hello everyone, I'm Prachi Chaturvedi, the artist behind the YouTube channel Prachi Chaturvedi Art. In this oil painting, in this portrait of my husband, it's done in oil paints, and in this, before I started painting, I had mixed all the shades to get the right shade for the skin or the t-shirt or the background. But yes, of course, I started with the skin shades first. So to get the right amount of paints, it is very important to take the very little amount of all the colors required for getting the right skin tone. The major colors which I had used are red. You can also take cadmium red sometimes, but if you do not have, you can take the bright red, white, and sometimes you need orange if you have, otherwise you can mix it with yellow. So in short, I would say you need red, white, yellow, and brown, and it's very little that amount of black which we need sometimes. So you can take just a pinch of that, just a bit of that, a kind of drop. So just create mixing, just keep trying how you can mix all these shades to get the right amount of pink, orange and brown, because somewhere in the skin there is a part where it has some shadow and somewhere it's very light. The light is falling, so the skin looks very light in color. So you need to it's not just that you need to have pink means pink. There is a lot of variety of having a pink shade for the skin, or the orange or the brown. So it's better to be prepared to get that. In my coming videos, I would tell you that what kind of shades you can get by adding all these 5 colors which I have told you. So in the base, you can see it's very much orange and bright kind of color. This is actually I have done to give the first layer of the skin for the face and the neck, and then I would add few more shades to make it more lighter. And even when there is a first layer of any paint, it shows up when you are adding a second layer. It gives a very natural and a very nice look to the second layer. It does not go away, but it gives a kind of background. It gives a very neat, nice glimpse of the shade. In this portrait, you can see I have made the grids, and these grids I wouldn't say that it is very much required to make them so dark, but unfortunately when I was painting on this paper, yes, it is not a canvas, so it is my first attempt to do an oil painting on paper. So while I was priming it, I somehow did a mistake by adding the grids later, when the gesso was not very well dry. So I was in hurry and I could not wait much, and I made the grids with pencil, and it was so dark that it actually got some carving on that paper and it didn't go away. So I had to work on it, so I'm doing it. But you can skip that, and you must skip that. I would not say that these grids should be very dark, as you can see in my portrait for the paper. It will go away when the paint is too dark. Like now I'm working on the shirt, the upper part of the shirt, which is ultramarine blue. It was very dark, and sometimes I had also mixed it with ultramarine blue as well, phthalo blue and ultramarine blue. So here you won't see the grids, but still where the skin tone is there, and when the lower part of the shirt will be painted, you will see that these grids would not hide very well, although I tried my best. but I could take this chance because it was a portrait of my husband and I did not have to sell it. So I took a lesson, and I just wanted to tell you, never get impatient when your paint or your gesso or the primer on the sheet is wet. So you have to have some patience. Well, oil painting is all about patience, but I just did not want it to damage all this hard work in the middle. So I just continued painting on this. So when I realized that the face still had some grids and it did not go away, I did not want to throw the paper. I did not wanted to throw my half hard work. So be very clear that where you're working, it should be clean, it should be outlined very well, but not so many lines should be visible. I'm adding some light color because here it's kind of a demarcation of a sleeve, and it's going to be black in color later. So I made it little light in color so that I can have that difference. You have to have patience when the first layer dries up. When you need to add the second layer of paints, you have to be very careful that the first layer is dry if you want it to be dry. The best part of working on a paper for an oil painting is to have least texture required. If you want to have a very smooth look for the painting, it's very much required to have a paper working on you to have paper instead of canvas. Canvas do have its benefits, but I just wanted to have some experiment. I just wanted to explore something, so I worked on a paper which is primed, gessoed. So it's great. It is definitely going to look beautiful when it's complete, and you'll see in the end, by the end of this video, that it was a very smooth painting. I did have a little bit of texture on paper because the brush movement, which was vertically, most of the times I was using a brush in a vertical direction instead of just going haywire or just up and down, left and right. It was important to move the brush in some specific direction, and I chose to move the brush while just sewing in vertical direction, so I have that kind of texture on my paper. But still, it is, as compared to the canvas, it is still very smooth. So when I was working on this part of this shirt, the bright yellow was not able to hide the grids. So that's what I said, that when you make the grids or the line or the boundary, you need to, the outline, you need to be very careful that the lines should not be visible. So what you are seeing, it's not just the pencil mark which can be erased, which could be erased, but these grids are actually kind of carved on the sheet because of the wet gesso when I was making this grid. It was all wet and I could not wait because I had to finish this painting on a specific date. So now let's come to the skin tone again, and the forehead, where the forehead is supposed to be light in shade, I am adding some lighter shade of peach, which I had created with the colors I had told you in the beginning: red, yellow, white, and yeah, a little bit of blue somewhere it is required, so, and brown as well. So just create a second layer of shade, and you have to do according to the skin color wherever required. So when you are working on the nose, there is a shiny part, which is the protruding part of the nose of any person. It is supposed to be very much bright, and the darkest portion, the shadowed portion, is on the cheek and the nostrils, around the nostrils. When you're painting the hair of a person, you have to keep that in mind. Instead of painting in black, begin it with gray and brown, so that it will be very nice to have a kind of bounce, and the layers of hair, it looks a little more natural instead of just using black paint for the black hair. It's good to have some gray touch and the brown touch, and then of course black is going to add some more coverage, and it looks nice. And little bit of hair on the forehead is going to fall, but remember, if the forehead skin is not perfect what you wanted to have, it's not there. You cannot make the less hair or the little hair falling on the forehead. You have to have those part neat and clean. Just work on the hair, on the head, not on the forehead as of now, until and unless your skin in the forehead is perfect. So now when you're working on the sunglasses, it's again not so easy. It looks easy, but it is not. You have to be very careful about the edges and the outline, and of course the reflection on the glass. While working on the lips and the gums and the teeth, be very careful. It's all pink and orange shade all around, but you still have to be very careful because there is always a difference between the lips and the gums. Lips do have a touch of pink and gums do have a touch of orange, but yes, of course, very little orange. I would say peach, but still, even then, it has a lot of shades in it. Use a very thin brush for the hair, the strands which are coming outside the hair and near the ear. You have to be very careful. In fact, painting ears are also not so easy, and everyone needs a lot of practice when they are doing any part of the face or human, be it nose, hands. If I talk about the face, ears, nose, lips and teeth and gums as well. In this I would not say the eyes, because in this portrait, this fellow, my husband, is wearing sunglasses, so I did not have to work hard for making the eyes perfect, so I just had to work on the other features, have some right shades on the cheeks, on the forehead, and of course the neck too. Remember, the cheeks and the necks do have a different shade when you are painting a man, and it's different. I had also had a very dry brush in my hand just to have a nice blend somewhere, and I just did not have wanted to paint, and I wanted to wipe some paint out from my brush, so I had a dry brush in my hand all the time. It's very important to focus on each and every detail, and to have a realistic approach to give a really realistic look to your paintings. And yes, and you can tell me if you want more specific things to be painted by me in different mediums or this oil painting. I'm going to definitely follow what you want me to do according for the paintings. And do not forget to subscribe to my channel for more paintings, and press the bell icon to get updates from this channel, so that you can have more learnings and paintings and interesting videos of art. Don't forget to like and share it with your friends also. So here the lips, again I would come to that. It's very different. It's not just one tone and a flat look. You have to give it a look that it should look natural. Keep your paint very well, I mean, don't load your brush too much anywhere in your brush while doing oil painting, unless and until you are doing something like the blue shirt part or the pink or yellow part of the t-shirt. So the now though although the man is clean shaven and he is not having beard, but still you need to have some gray dots and the grayness on the cheeks and the upper lip, because even if the man is not having beard, they have that green touch or a grayish touch on their cheeks and the upper lip. So you have to keep that in mind. Do not miss that part. And of course it's not going to happen in the woman's portrait if you're working. It's just have to do with the boy's portrait. And yes, somewhere you need to have a little bit of black dots, and the black dots you're looking, it's just for me, just for giving a gray touch. It's not going to show now with the, like you can see with the dry brush, I'm just spreading the gray, and the dot, it stayed a little, but I blended it with my dry brush on the neck. Now with my thin brush, I'm just adding the more details to my husband's portrait. These are his moles on his cheeks and forehead. Actually he has many, and these are the prominent ones on his face. So it actually gave this portrait a very natural and a very realistic look, and yeah, it really looks nice, gives it a natural look. although I would say the hair, my husband has lost a bit of hair now, and he keeps them short, but in this picture it was like he used to have a little longer hair like this, not much longer, but this much. So it's not fake, but yeah, now in present days he does not have this big length of hair. You've lost a bit. So, and actually it was his first expression when he saw this portrait, that I gave him a lot many hair now. For the background I am adding a green paint with the different shades, and yeah, just to avoid too much of work in the background, and it is definitely going to look beautiful. And in reality he was standing, it was a landscape behind, and yes, of course, beautiful mountains in the background, but I did not want to take so much time to finish this painting, so I just wanted to have this beautiful fancy look in the background. Be very careful when you're working on the hair. You might hide them, but you can paint them later. Well, I could blend more this green and this yellow part. I could have done that more blending, but that's okay. That's how I want it. But if you have a mop brush, you can blend it very well, and it's going to look nice. When you're working with the dark shades, remember the dark shades when you're working next to the skin tone, or like I'm working on the ears, and next to it I'm using the dark green here, but when I would be working on the blue shirt, my shade would definitely go lighter, because the contrast looks much better this way. Now just the circles, the paint is wet, but still you can work. I knew that it's not going to be very effective, but I had to do a little light shading also, so I preferred using flat brush to make some circles around in different colors, and when the paint will be dry a little, I'll make some more circles this way. And before the video ends, I would like to request all of you that your support means a lot to me. Please do subscribe to my channel, do give it a big fat thumbs up, like it and share it with your friends, and press the bell icon to get some more updates, you will be the first one to know that my new video is uploaded, and you'll be in touch. In the comment section, please let me know which part you like the most in this painting, and what else do you want me to paint, and what do you want to learn. If I can do, I will definitely going to help you out, and tell me how you like my work and what do you want to learn from my paintings. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the painting.